Welcome to Access a Trader, the #1 community for high-level traders to learn valuable trends and strategies, connect with other top traders, and become consistently profitable. Click the link in the description of this video to receive a special offer on our revolutionary PS60 training, access to our daily interactive webinar filled with experienced traders, and so much more. Space is limited, so make sure you don't miss out.
If you look at a perfect example, and people, people outside the live webinar always ask me and say, well, Dan, what do you mean? I get the whole theory of stocks going from supply to supply and demand to demand, but what do you mean by it? Like, what's your, what is your whole basis on this whole supply to supply and demand? So here's a situation, like here's a pivot that we had in the room, right? Let me just give you guys a scenario. So it was right over here. So at roughly around 10:30 in the morning, just to give you a structural balance for you guys, especially in the silver program where you guys on watching this, some of you guys subscribe to the feed, to the private Twitter feed. Here's a perfect example. So NVIDIA at 10:30 in the morning, I said NVIDIA 337 becomes important and needs to build to go higher. This was 10:30 in the morning. And if you look at why, right? You look at NVIDIA why, and this is a perfect example how stocks go from supply to supply and demand to demand. Like here's a perfect example. So it put in a high here, and this is the highest channel into supply, right? So put in a high here of roughly, well, not roughly, 236.95. So we knew that channel needed to be confirmed. And the potential of the trade was moving again to the upper channel, and this upper channel was roughly 239.45, right? 239.30s, 239.45. Again, the whole theory was stocks hit supply, which was right over here. They need to confirm, and they trade to the upper bounds. So if you look what happened with NVIDIA, right? If you look and go back to NVIDIA, but here, a perfect example, 239.40s, upper supply, punch a shot, and yada, 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 the stock goes to supply within 15 cents of supply. So, a lot of days when you get big expansion channels, you're going to get a lot of clean moves. The one thing that we do know about the pivots, right? The one thing that we do know about the pivots, majority of the time, they're going to do very, very well, okay? The only question is, how big is the move going to be? Okay, we never know how big the move is going to be. We do know their stocks are going to be trading to channels. We know if they confirm channels, they should be very good. So for example, here's another trade that I took, and I took about $2 and change on Netflix today. So here is a perfect example, 333.33. If it builds below, it can give cash flow. Obviously, the stock is very, very strong, so I gave very, very clear directions. Stock should resume uptrend in the next day or so. But 333, if it builds below, just to give you an example, again, how stocks confirm. Okay, here it is. Here it is right here, 333. So once it broke that 333, again, if you believe in the stocks go from supply to supply and demand to demand, you can see here, once it broke, it traded right to demand, and it confirmed this demand later, and it went all the way back down to the 331.10 area, and that was kind of the nature of the beast. But again, the most important part of these pivots are you need to put yourself in a position to see what kind of structural day you have. Again, if it was like yesterday, and you see these massive, massive moves and big, big structural advantages, you're going to see expanded ranges. When you have a day like today, the stocks are moving maybe $1, maybe 75 cents. You're going to get shorter moves. So again, that's why you take full advantage and trade a stock that is going to go on a bigger channel than try to trade a trade that has a 40, 50 cent max pain. So for example, here's another pivot we had today in Boeing. We talked about this 341 area, right? 341 area right over here. There's supply. And once it broke supply, you can see what happened here. Once it broke supply, the stock completely exploded. I love the setup for tomorrow. It traded right to supply as well. So the most important part for any single trading session, again, as we say this all the time, number one, we don't know what kind of day it's going to be. Okay, we don't know what it's going to be. Right now, there's an incredible bullish sentiment. The beta names are running, especially into earnings, big, big runs all over the place, especially in Amazon for the last couple of days. Netflix, again, I expect it to resume either tomorrow or the following day, but you need to have an opinion, right? Right now, we're getting a lot of bullish tones. We're completely omitting a lot of macro news, especially, again, going back to the China versus Trump situation. Obviously, Amazon is completely brushed off the whole scenario, Trump versus Bezos. And again, now we're going higher, and now we just need the spotlight. We need the spotlight to be completely structured. And once it's structured, once these stocks trigger in the confirmation channels, usually good things happen. Again, every single day, just we say, nice and calm. There's no pay, it's no rush. It's not a race. It's not about how many trades you take. It's how many trades you take correctly. Guys, have a great night. God bless, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Take care.